Okay, hi y'all. I am back with a video that will be super chaotic because I have absolutely no script to this video. So, just a warning, this video is just insanity at its peak right now. But I feel like I have a lot to say as of recent. Um I guess because of like this last week in Korea was like very chaotic and sad. Like there's been so many like tragedies in the last week, and like I don't know, I feel like they are so prevalent that like people are kind of like I feel like some people are reacting in a way that they're kind of like angry, but not like angry that it happened, but angry that like annoyed. Like I've seen complaints under videos about like workers who died. Like they'll be like, oh, the laborers are gonna complain about this and like protest more. Or like there's like when it was raining, like during the whole flooding season, like on the live streams, a lot of people were like commenting that they wanted to keep raining and that they just didn't want to go to work, and they were just like, oh, I hope it keeps raining, I hope it keeps raining, but like it's dangerous if it keeps raining. I don't know. Like that whole like selfish energy is just like not the vibe right now. But anyway, I am wearing the it like creased a lot, but trust me when I say it is so very humid right now. But yeah, I use Scooby Doo, and um it's kind of like really smudging because like the air, like it was raining again really hard, but I used this one this time, and like wow, it's very vibrant and strong. Like Glamlight's formula is like really amazing, and like I kind of understand why some people are like super snobby about their makeup palettes, because like certain brands, like the pigment is really high, or some brands like that it's like really smooth to like blend it. I don't know, like I get it, but also I don't think I would like all my palettes to be like that intense. Like this is very intense, but I yeah, felt extra today. So um that being said, Glamlight is making a Scream palette, and I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I saw like Teresa is Dead's video, and she really wants it to go well. She's like, if it doesn't go well, she is like done with Glamlight. She's gonna slander them to like high heaven. But she was mentioning like the characters like costumes and like the denim and like their 90s clothes as like colors in the palette, and I was like, oh, that's a possibility, because I was thinking like Scream, it's got to be like black, white, red for the blood, right? So I was like, is that gonna look like the Chucky palette, which was cute, but I was like, that's not worth the money, and it was like so many of the same looking colors in it. But anyway, yeah, I don't have a topic today, but I guess the topic I got off from was like, there's been a lot of like tragedies and stuff happening recently, and like I just like I was talking to my friend about this like in depth yesterday, and I was like, I kind of want to make like a really spicy channel on YouTube, because she was like, I want to make a YouTube channel, and I was like, do it, please do it. Like I will follow you, I will watch your videos, because like I love watching content of people I know. Like, and I was like, even if it's like mundane, because she kind of wants to do like Switch gaming, and I was like, I'd watch that. Like, yeah, I'm like chronically online, so like any kind of content is welcome. But yeah, she was like, oh, I want to make a channel. Like, I don't know what theme, like maybe music or singing or like whatever. And I was like, please do it. But yeah, it's me and my little rat channel. It's me, your rat friend. but we were talking about it, and I was like, I would love to make like a really juicy like dark side of Korea type channel, but I was like, I don't want to get deported for my like slander of Korea, which like she was like, it needs to be out there, it needs to be out there. And I was like, then I just have to be like a VTuber and like not have a face and just use the little AI thing and like voice distorter. But that being said, like there is one thing that I will say that we were talking about that is not that spicy. It's not that spicy of a topic, but it's a little, it could potentially get spicy. But the thing that I wanted to talk about was like safety in Korea, and not like safety of like people, which like there was a stabbing last week, which like the stabbing I think is related to like, if I made a video about that, it'd be about like unemployment, youth, identity slash like mental health issues in Korea. But like, yeah, that's not that kind of danger, not like violence danger, like not like danger about like walking the streets at night, like not that kind of danger. Because like in general, like Korea is really safe like that, but I'm talking about safety of like buildings, like building codes, transportation, things like that, because Korea is very like reactionary and not preventative of like dangers. Like if something happens, then they change it, which like I understand to a degree, because certain like tragedies or things are like really unprecedented, like you just have no idea that those types of accidents could happen, or you know, like they were waiting to happen but they never did happen. I get that, but it's like, come on Korea, you need to just like copy other countries' homework of like things that have happened there and like increase the safety, because I think like in some ways Korea has done a lot to like mitigate other kinds of dangers. Like I feel like stalkers, like stalking is a problem here. I mean, it's a problem everywhere, but I mean like stalking is a problem. And so they've made like on Kakao, it's really easy, like it's really easy to block and, you know, prevent someone from like re-following your account. And like you can, if you send someone gifts, you cannot anonymously send people gifts because of like, you know, bribery and again stalking and stuff like that. So I get it. Or like even when you order food from like food delivery apps, it like gives you a fake phone number, so they can call you, like a little proxy phone number, so they can call you, but they won't have your number. Like the delivery people will not have your actual phone number, and different like safety things like that. But like other kinds of safety is like really lax. Like I've been at school and I was like, so we really just have, you know, the fire extinguisher that's broken. There's a broken fire extinguisher like outside of my classroom, and I'm like, so this is supposed to help us. Like I'm pretty sure there's no like dust in it because it's broken and like the pin is out. And like I know they'll change it before like we have a school inspection, but like that shouldn't, like it should be changed before that, you know what I mean? But like just from like the past 10 years of things that I can think of that have happened that they've changed like security or like safety on, is like, one was like when there was a big earthquake, there were all these ads that were like, oh, we're building the new apartments with like this flexible steel that's strong against earthquakes. And it's like nobody thought of that before, but like now that there's an earthquake, it became like a thing. And then like when there was a fire that like a lot of people could not get out of because like the back door was blocked or something like that, they did a bunch of like fire like regulations. And like basically like after somebody dies, then they like make a law or they make a safety change. And like, you know, I feel like people need to know that like some things in Korea is not that safe. Like there's certain things that I'm just like, that's kind of shady. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, in the States when they have those little like carnivals that like travel around that are like run by carnies, like those things are not really that safe. But like we know that, like, you know, and I feel like there's Korean people that know that certain things are unsafe, but like I think there's a false sense of security about some things that they expect to be safe because of the way like Korean society is. Like you could not build a Korean apartment in America and let it be safe and like run the same way it does here, because like the populations are like vastly different and it would just like blow up. Like it would just not work out. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like there's things that really piss me off, and I guess this whole like flooding the tunnel tragedy, like there's a political aspect to it, because like they've been sending all these alerts. They said like alert messages constantly on the phone, and there's like two types of alerts. There's like emergency alerts, and those like your phone like actually like be like it actually like makes an alarm, and those are like very dangerous situations. So like if there's an earthquake or like some, like I've only had it go off for like an earthquake. It accidentally went off because in Seoul, because they said like North Korea was attacking, and I've had it, I think all the times I can remember were earthquakes. But it's like it usually like goes off when there's a natural disaster and you need to like get out of the way. The other alerts are like they interrupt your phone, like they come through your phone, but they just tell you like information like about like bad weather precautions, like if it's windy and there's a chance there could be like forest fires, it's like, oh, don't go to the mountain. Or like if the air is like really bad or something, they tell you to like wear masks. And like COVID information, like back when COVID was, you know, popping off. Yeah, like it gives you all these messages. But like before the flood, there were like all these messages about like the rain, and they are like so excessive that it's like spam and everyone just ignores them. And I saw a like a jongbo about like the government was like, oh, we're gonna send less ads. We realize, not ads, alerts. We're gonna send less alerts because we know that you are getting stressed by them, like, you know, you're sick of seeing them. We're really sorry, we won't do that anymore. And that was like maybe like 2 months ago I saw that. But they didn't really slow down. And the problem is too is like they're not all from the same place. Like they're regional ones, and there's like I was getting messages from my city and my gu and the do and the national ones. So you're getting like all these messages constantly. So like no one's really paying attention to them. So like if something is like, oh, it's possible the dam, because it was like the dam could possibly overflow, right? So then if it's like, oh, the dam could overflow, but there's been like all these messages, and like there's messages where it's like, oh, it's gonna rain like, you know, 300 millimeters tonight, and then it doesn't rain at all, and then you're like, oh, that was a false alarm, right? So like that I think contributed to it. And like people are saying that in the comments. Like if you watch like JTBC like little news, you know, SBS like comment section, like people are typing stuff like that, like please stop sending these messages like that, or like why didn't they block the road in time, you know, like if they knew that it could potentially be dangerous, like why was the road blocked, you know, stuff like that. I noticed like on my way home today, I saw that there was like police down on the like the river like side street, like frontage road thingy. I don't know what you call it, but you know, like the river street underpassing, there was like police down there, and they put like police lines, and like they put like caution tape over the stairs, so like you couldn't even like walk down there. And like that's really reactionary, because I have never seen that in my life. And like every year, like people drown in the river in my town. Like somebody drowns there. And like usually it's like someone, like an elderly person or somebody who tried to walk across the little like footbridge, and the water was too high and they like fell in. And like even that is like, shouldn't there have been something to stop people from going down there, like just as a city? Like, I mean, I can understand if they like maybe fell in like really far out, like in the country, but like people drowning in like the actual city proper area is kind of unacceptable as like a, like, I mean, like during COVID, there was like officers outside to stop people from watching, looking at like cherry blossoms because they didn't want the crowds like during social distancing. But then they don't do anything in other situations. And I mean, yeah, it's like, I feel like after, yeah, like after the whole Itaewon situation, there was like, they were really reactionary and they were like, oh, like during the World Cup, like cheering, they like blocked it off and they like only let certain number of people be there at one time. And like, I don't know, it's like it feels more trashy when someone has to die before they do something. And like, yeah, it's not like it's just Korea, but like it's very obvious in Korea because it happens like repeatedly. But yeah, that was like one of the things that I was gonna say for my like little spicy channel. Like, I don't know, I feel like I would just be like slandering constantly. I would be exposing people's jobs because I had this idea that somebody could like come to Korea and work in like a hagwon that was known on a blacklist, work there like undercover, and then like, you know, finish their contract, leave, and then make a channel about it, like where they aren't touchable by the like defamation laws of Korea. But yo, my friend is in that situation right now, and her job is kind of notorious among people who've worked there, but they force people to sign NDAs. So it's never stopped. And so I don't know, I feel bad about it because it's really hard, and I hope that the lawyers are able to help her situation, because I would not want my kid to go to that place. But we can't say anything about it because of defamation laws. So just know that is a place that is in Korea somewhere that is a horrible English academy. I'm sure there's many others, but you know, that one especially. Next, the other thing that I want to talk about was like the teacher. And like sometimes I think of like making a mental health channel, not a mental health channel, but like, you know, mental health videos or something. And like, you know, I don't like to, because I feel like it's really it's hard to talk about, honestly. Like, I don't really want to talk about it as much, but like there's some things I feel like need to be said. But like, my friend was saying that one of the teachers at her school told her not to post a black ribbon as her Instagram account because some parents might be mad. But like, parents are part of the reason of why like that teacher passed away. So it's kind of like, I didn't do a ribbon because like sometimes I feel like it's a little, I don't want to say insensitive, but it's like there's a lot of awareness, but it doesn't mean anything because it's after the fact. I don't know, I think we should like mourn people, and I think we should show support, but like sometimes it feels really like not disingenuous. I don't know. See, this is why I don't want to do it, because it's really hard for me to like explain what I mean by certain things. But yeah, like I feel like her that whole accident or situation makes me think about like some other, not just like labor accidents, but just like accidents that, like some of them were accidents and some of them were like this one where it was like suicide. But like there's so much work abuse Like, there's rampant work abuse, and it's like not really talked about. And there's like, our school gave us like a survey, and we had to fill it out and write. It was anonymous, right? So like, you could write whatever you wanted on it, or you can like check whatever you wanted. And it was like, oh, the boss makes me feel uncomfortable by, or, you know, like, I feel like the boss makes me uncomfortable about my clothes, or the boss makes me feel uncomfortable about my work. I feel like I can complain about certain issues, blah, 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 like 1 to 10 kind of thing. And I realize that this province compared to other provinces is a little bit different, because some of the information that I've gotten, like, as a teacher, has been more than other provinces are willing to disclose. And like, not just because I'm a supervisor, but because like our province is like very proactive about a lot of things, like legal things. And so I like learned a lot about like the Korean labor laws because of like our provincial like education office and stuff like that. So like, I'm really grateful that like they're trying, but I do realize that like every province in Korea is not the same. It's just like every state is not the same. But like, there's like some pressure on a lot of people in Korea, and I felt it when I first came here, that it's like, oh, if you mess up, if you don't give people 110%, like, you're wrong, you know, like, you have to do it. There, you know, you're gonna be in trouble if you don't. But it's not really true. And like, if you're in danger, don't like put yourself in jeopardy for your job. Like, if the weather's too bad, don't go to work, and then just suffer the consequences. Tell them that you tried but you couldn't, or you didn't feel safe and you couldn't. Because there's been like teachers, like, specifically I know about teachers who've like died because they tried to go to work during a snowstorm or something, and then yeah, that was the end of it. Like, they died. Like, that's it. Like, there wasn't like anything about it, you know. Like, I don't know, if you feel like you're too hot, like, you know, like, it's too hot. So many people have died from like heat exhaustion, you know, especially like delivery people, or like, you know, if you just feel like too hot or too tired or too sick, like, take your time off. Like, take that time that is given to you. Like, take your like, you know, your labor rights, and like, you know, leave. Like, if you need a mental health day, take it. You don't have to tell them why you're leaving. You know, there's things you should keep private, and you're entitled to keep them private. And I always tell people in my group that, like, if you need to go to the hospital and you don't want people at your work to know why you're going there, you can be vague, and you can also hide the reason in nice. Like, you don't have to disclose it. So I don't know, that just my PSAs to people, because I know that people don't know, and I know that I didn't know, and I felt like there was nobody to tell these things. And you know, when I tell other people this, they get mad about it, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to help you out. Like, I have no malicious intent. But there's a lot of main character syndrome people in Korea, and I just don't know why. I mean, like, expats they're very like main character syndrome people, and I don't get it. But I have my kombucha, our favorite bacteria flavored drink. So I was having this weird shower thought, and I was like, is the bacteria delicious, or is it like the bacteria's wastes that are delicious about things that are fermented with bacteria? Like, I'm just saying, like, you know, like yogurt, right? There's bacteria in it. Like, the bacteria are still alive, and you're eating them. But is the tasty part their bodies? Or is the tasty part their, like, pee or poos, whatever you would call that, their waste products from, like, eating the yogurt? Like, what part tastes good? I need to investigate that. I think it's their waste, because like yeast the tasty part of yeast is their waste. Like, you kill the yeast when you bake bread, and like, you know, like a lot of the yeasts die in the beer making process. So like, you're not really eating the yeast itself, you're eating the yeasts. So I guess maybe it is there. That why it's tasty. I know a lot of people hate kombucha. Like, I have had people tell me that this tastes disgusting. I get it. You know what? I actually agree with you to a point, because I think it's tasty. But I understand why you'd be like, ew, is that bacteria flavored soda? Because you're right, it is bacteria flavored soda. But there's something I love about that, like, funky, like, fermented, like, cheesy taste of things. Like, I will die on this hill, but the most comforting, delicious Korean food there is cheonggukjang, and I will die on that hill, because I will eat that any day, every day. I don't care. I never get sick of that. And you know what? It smells like socks. I will admit, it does smell like socks, but it is so good. You know what else smells like socks? Cheddar cheese. And like, most people like cheddar cheese. So, check yourselves. I don't know why I'm so heated about bacteria snacks, but you know. The other day I shook one of these up, and I forgot that if you shake it, the carbonation shoots out. My hand smelled really bad. Like, kombucha does not actually smell good, but yeah. I recommend Peacock everything. I have Peacock green tea right now. Amazing. Most of the Peacock stuff, like from Emart, is A+. I love it. Sponsor me, Emart. Except Emart 24. Emart 24 is inconsistent, because some Emart 24s have a lot of stuff, and some Emart 24s are like really small and sparse, and I don't get it. And some of them close early. Some Emart 24s will close at like 11 p.m. It's 24 in the name. Isn't it supposed to be open 24 hours? But anyway, I gotta go clean my room, because as you can see, it's still abysmal in here, and I need to pack, and I need to like clean, and I need to like just in general get my shit together. And yeah, but thanks for hanging out with me during this little chaotic ride of whatever I was rambling about. And if you have any ideas for videos I should make later, I am taking them. I do have a video that I will do about YouTube sponsors that I would use tier list, like I don't know, like established titles. Like, would I do it? Like, obviously not established titles, but like, would I use it? Yes, no, maybe. So that's one idea. And then I'm gonna do the accent challenge to see what accent I have. I know what accent I have, but like, I'll like read the words, because I kind of have two accents. You know, like, I have my accent that I use at work, where I like speak very clearly so the students understand me. But then I also have like my like casual, like the accent that you guys, well, the accent that I use in my videos is basically my like casual, it's between my phone voice and my like casual voice. But then like, I have a really, really casual accent that's very like ethnic, let's say, but I don't really use that one very much. So we will do the test and see my my regional dialect. I know my regional dialect is kind of fake, because it's like 50% of it. So I've taken one of those tests before, and it did know that I was from Louisiana, which was like, wow, that's so accurate. But I mean, I have that accent because of my parents and like my grandma, like, you know, we're from there. So like, there's certain words that I use, and I'm pretty sure that's why I got in that one. But I'm also like very just Midwest. So we'll see. I I have to find a good quiz that will work for this. So yeah, I'm still working on that. But it's 30 minutes. I need to shut up and I need to clean my room. So bye.